Good morning. Here we are at the Kwanwatsi Big House again, and we're here to interview the elders and the youth. And this is going to be a great time for all of them to get together for their second time or third time now. But welcome again, Gaila Kessa. Olet Gaila Ik.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome you all here to the Big House for interview. And my name is Dan Quatel, and my name is an Indian name is Kwakwala. Dan Quatel. Talking big.
Good morning. My name is Diana Matilipi. My Indian name is Mayanith, which means respected one, and I'm originally from Kinkham Inlet.
Good morning. My name is Betty Nikolai, and my Indian name is Tutaflap. I am from Cayuga.
Good morning. My name is John Flat. My Indian name is Ogamainipiamaka. It means Chief Standing Bear, and I come from central Manitoba. Thank you.
My name's Janisha and I go to CARIHI.
My name's Hannah and I also go to CARIHI.
My name's Bernadette and I come from CARIHI.
My name's Kenneth and I'm from Kinkham Inlet.
My name's Victor. I go to CARIHI.
My name is Nick Pasterzi. I'm a teacher at CARIHI, and it's a real pleasure to be here, and thank you for having us a part of this awesome experience. Thank you.
What nation are you from, and what are you most proud of when it comes to your people?
I come from the Indian nation, the Métis nation. And the most I'm proud of among my people is that I learned to play fiddle when I was young, and I still do play fiddle. Thank you.
What is your traditional name and what is it meaning?
My traditional name is Ogamainipiamaka. It means Chief Standing Bear.
Who is your family?
In my family right now, my wife Betty here, and we have 3 children living at home. Thank you.
Where did you grow up and what was it like for you?
At first I grew up in northern Manitoba. It's a Cree village, and when we grew up there, me and my brothers and my sister, it was very hard for us because the Cree children didn't like us because we were different. Thank you.
What is a good memory you have of growing up as a child?
One of the good memories I have when I grew up in my hometown in Duck Bay is fishing was going on there, and I used to make boxes there every day, 5 cents a box, and that's where I got most of my money from. Thank you.
What nation are you from, and what are you most proud of when it comes to your people?
I'm from Cayuga. I was born in Acatese Island, and very proud of being from there.
What is your traditional name? What is it meaning?
My traditional name is Tutaflap, and I got that name from my father, who had a potlatch for me when I was in a Hoodell fire here in Campbell River. So they had a potlatch for me. He said it's a Wi'ak name, and the Wi'ak name is just like a warrior name.
Who is in your family?
Who is in your family?
Oh, I have, my family is just my husband, John. Well, there's 139 of us living here in Campbell River, all from one family.
Where did you grow up and what was it like for you?
I grew up in Actees Island. It is a beautiful place. Oh, I remember the best days was the blue skies, the blue ocean, and the seagulls, and the low tide. It was really beautiful growing up there as a child.
What is a good memory you have of growing up as a child?
The best memory I had growing up as a child was having my parents, because they're not here anymore, and it was the best feeling in the world to have parents. And going out in the ocean and collecting seafoods was my best memories.
Do you speak your traditional language? What languages do you understand?
I understand my Nuu-chah-nulth language, but I can't speak it that fluently. And I only understand my language and English. That's about it.
What do your cultural traditions mean to you? How did you learn them?
My cultural teachings, my dad was very cultural. He loved his culture, and he would speak his language every day. He would sing songs every day, and he composed some songs too, and dances for my sister, who was a hereditary chief.
Which cultural ceremonies do you find really important?
Probably we have a dance called the Hinkies, and that's a sea serpent dance. And I find that very important, mainly because my father composed that song, and it's a really good song, and I love the words in it.
Is there a story you wish to share with us?
I have a Christmas story I can share with you that I think is more appropriate, seeing its Christmas scene. When I was a kid, my father was a trapper, and he was trapping every day, and he would get a lot of furs. And the furs he had to send away, because we lived in an isolated place. There was only a mail day once a day. So he sent his furs away, and that took like 2 weeks to reach its destination. And they would send him a check, and my father sent it. My mother sent an order to Eaton's, a catalog, where she sent for some gifts from all of us. And she hoped to pay for it with furs my dad sent away to Hudson Bay. And Christmas was nearing, and my dad kept checking the mail to see if his check came in the mail. And every time there was a mail day, there was no check. And it was really worrisome for my parents. They would check the mail every day. My mom was getting worried because the postmaster said the parcel was in now, the COT. It's called COT when you get a parcel in the mail and you had to pay for it. Then Christmas Eve came, and my father was really wishing the check would come in. That was the last mail day. And they decided to go check the mail again. It was late. Me and my sister Maggie stayed at home with my grandfather. My grandfather was blind, and he looked after us while my parents went to check the mail. So they had to go by boat to Hoopsidas. That's where the store was. They went into the store, and the postmaster said, "You have a letter here, Mr. Nikolai." And my father was all hopeful. He opened the mail, and it was a check for his furs. And my mother was all excited, said we're going to take our gifts out of the place now. Then they had no turkey, so they asked the postmaster, do you guys have a turkey? And the postmaster said, we sold our turkey. All the turkeys were sold. And my mother was all upset, and they went to the other store and found that there was a turkey there, but it was 30 pounds. And they started shopping for Christmas because we had nothing at the house to go with our Christmas. And me and Mackie were at home listening for our boat. It was called Shadow. It has a East Hope engine in it, and we heard the boat coming, and we saw them coming ashore because they had to row ashore in a canoe. And we saw my dad carrying boxes in, and they brought the boxes in the door, and we were all excited because we knew then that our father got his check from the furs. And first thing we smelled was celery, because we have so many good memories of my mom's good cooking and making the stuffing for the turkey. We saw the celery and we saw the huge turkey, and what we didn't notice was my mother was putting packages in their bedroom to hide the gifts. That was the best Christmas I ever remember. That's it.
What nation are you from, and what are you most proud of when it comes to your people?
I am from the Musqueam people of Kinkham Inlet, and what I'm most proud of my people is that I grew up learning a lot about our way of life through my grandparents and aunties, uncles, family members.
What is your traditional name and its meaning?
My traditional name is Matilipi. It was given to me by my grandfather. And Matilipi means respected one. One of my many Indian names.
Who is in your family?
What's that?
Who is in your family?
Who is in my family? I have, my mom and dad had 13 of us children. They had arranged marriage. I had 9 sisters, and all our brothers were younger than us girls. And we all grew up together in a small village of Kinkham Inlet, and grew up with my cousins and aunties and uncles, was around all the time, and my grandparents. Thank you.
Where did you grow up, and what was it like for you?
I grew up in Kinkham Inlet, along with all my cousins and my friends, and Kinkham was a nice, beautiful valley, and I lived right in the village until I was 19, and we did a lot of canoeing and mountain climbing. I'd go hunting with my sister for grouse, and we did a lot of things together in the village, and heard a lot of our own language spoken by our elders, and I have never forgotten my language. I speak my language fluently.
What is a good memory you have of growing up as a child?
My great memory of growing up as a child was listening to my grandpa telling us stories, and grandma would make us what you call Indian ice cream with soap berries. She'd whip it up, and we'd all be sitting there eating soap berries while grandpa was telling us stories in the evening. Those were my great memories.
Do you speak your traditional language? What language do you understand?
I speak my Kwakwala language, and I speak the English language. When I went to school, I didn't know how to speak English, and the teacher we had, when she spoke to us, I didn't understand her, and I had two sisters that went to the resident school, and I wasn't home when the Indian Affairs came to pick up my two sisters. So when they came back, they spoke really good English, and I said, "How did you do that?" And I wanted to know how to speak English like they did, because I only knew how to speak our Kwakwala language.
What do your cultural traditions mean to you? How did you learn them?
Our cultural traditions I learned by watching and observing what our elders did. And we never ever were taken by the hand and told, this is how you're going to learn how to do this. We just watched, and that's how we learned. And just by watching, I learned how to do a lot of things as our First Nations people did us, and how we lived. And that was about it.
Which cultural ceremonies do you find really important?
What I find important is that our language and culture go hand in hand, and without the language, you don't have a culture. It's hard to do culture without knowing your language.
Is there a story you wish to share with us?
I actually would like to do a story, and I would like to sing one song that I learned from our village, and it was a song about how our people came together and worked very hard to build their hall, and they made a totem pole that represented 4 tribes, because we were called the 4 tribes, but actually one, and they had made a great big soccer field, and they had a song for the new hall they made, and who was going to be the first one to dance in the new hall. And the song went, Kwanwatsi Big dance la gili la ho gilaya samus kama kwisa lai ho la hiya lai ho oh lai ho lai ho lai ho la hiya you gonna make class Meli cannot left girl latte dance la gili la ho gilaya samus quisa lai ho la hiya lai ho oh lai ho lai ho you gonna make class just what cannot live you latte dance la gili la ho gilaya samu kama kwisa lai ho la hiya lai ho oh lai ho lai ho lai ho la hiya and what you we since guilt latte ikaya la gili la ho gilaya sa muskama kwisa lai ho la hiya lai ho oh lai ho lai ho lai ho la hiya you gonna make class Jimmy cannot let go, la gelit la ho ho, gila ya samus kama kwisa, my ho la hey, la ho, oh la ho, la ho, and what your reasons, gil la dan kala gelit la ho. Oh, gila ya samus kama kwisa, lai ho la heya, lai ho, oh lai ho, lai ho, lai ho la heya. You gonna make classuk, Elsie cannot. You'll play not play, you're like a late love. Ilaya Samuska, Quisa, lie ho, lie ho, oh, lie ho, lie ho, lie ho, lie. Now I'm going to share the story about Mink, and there's a legend about Mink and his long search for a wife. In English, Mink went out for a long search for his wife, and the first wife he found, he went running home to tell his mom he found the most beautiful girl and that was going to marry her. And he went back to see the nice, beautiful girl and went into the ocean with her. And he had his arm around her and she had her arm around him. And he said, when are we going to submerge in the ocean? And a young lady said, oh, we just have to wait for the tide to come in. So the tide came in and they started to go underwater. And Macha, he said, let me go, I can't breathe. So his wife let him go. He didn't know he was married to a kelp woman. And he floated up to the top with foam, just foaming around his mouth. His brother came along and found him and brought him home. So the next day he went out for another walk and he went running home to tell his mom he had found a beautiful girl that he thought he would marry. So he went back to see this beautiful girl, and this was out in the pond. And he said, when do we go out to the pond and make noise? And the young girl said, we can't do that till the sun goes down. He didn't know that he was married to Frog Woman. So when all the frogs started making noise, and the young girl said it has to be the biggest frog starts first. So when they started making noise, Frog said, let me go, let me go. You people make too much noise. And he took off and she let him go, and he started running home and told his wife, I made a mistake again. I chose the wrong person to be my wife. And she said, you better stop getting married. You're keeping our chiefs busy every day getting you married. So he went back out for another walk, and he found a beautiful girl on the road, and she didn't speak. And he went back and told his mom, I'm going to marry her. She's beautiful. She doesn't speak. So he went out and got married to her, and then he said he started to get hungry. He said, when are you going to cook supper? And she didn't answer him, and he kept asking, when are you going to cook dinner? Still no answer, and he got really angry, and he said, if you don't answer me, I'm going to have to punch you in the face. And she still didn't answer him. So he punched her in the face, and all of a sudden he felt his hand, and his skin on his hand broke. He didn't realize that he was married to a rock woman. And she didn't get hurt, he got hurt. So he went back home and told his mom, I found the wrong woman to be my wife. So the next day he took another walk and found another beautiful girl. And then he told his mom he wanted to marry her. And she said, I hope this will be the last. So he went and he got married to the cloud woman. And she said, you just have to know how to run fast when a cloud starts moving really fast. And when the wind comes up. And he said, oh yes, he said, I can run really fast. So he went up and he was with Cloud Woman. When the wind picked up, Cloud Woman started to go really, really fast. And Mink couldn't keep up with her. He finally went home and told his mom, I lost my wife. And then she said, that is so bad. He couldn't keep up with her. So the very last time he went out, he found another beautiful girl. And this was going to be his last wife. He found Lizard. And Lizard in our language is Kwalas. He married Kwalas. And that was the end of the story. And the moral of the story was how foolish he was. And in real life, what would you think about, in real life, how foolish a person can be? Did you like the story? Yeah. All our stories in our language had a lesson in it. And lesson and story about my child is how foolish he was. In real life, would you be that foolish? No. Yeah. All the stories we had was like, you probably heard the Junakwa story. Yeah. That was always told to us in real life. Why would parents tell you to get home before dark? Like, what is the real reason? What do you think could happen if you didn't listen? In the dark, like some car might come along and run over you when you're little kids, and all of us kids used to run home. We knew it was getting dark.
And when I used to live on Cape with my grandpa or my auntie, she'd always like, look out your window, you better go to bed. Yeah. And she'd like make me look out the window.
My grandparents always told a Junakwa story. That you got to be home before dark because Junakwa comes out. Yeah. So we all believed that, but that was a lesson, because in real life, a lot of things happen when you're out after dark. Like, dangerous things can happen to you. Yeah.
What nation are you from, and what are you most proud of when it comes to your people?
The Laichwiltach Nation, the Campbell River Indian man. My name is Daniel Quatel.
What are you most proud of when it comes to your people?
Well, when I came to my people, it's a long story, but I'll make it short. How much I enjoyed being with the elders when I was a young boy, to go to the dinners and gatherings, and how they enjoyed themselves. And this is how I learned a lot from our people. But I never left them. I always stayed with the elders, and when they had a dinner, I always seemed to be the one to appear to their dinner, and I never really got to know the language, but I got to know the people really good when I was going to all these functions they had, meetings and gatherings and whatnot, and it was very interesting to go to see these elders and younger ones go to these, and this is how much I really appreciate to see this, what all happened with our people and the reserve here, how we got together, and see, I never did. I'll get to that part later about my language, because what happened to me years ago. Well, I'll continue on with something else. And okay, number 2.
What is your traditional name and its meaning?
My name is Daniel Quatel. My traditional name is Yakuzdala. That means talking big in my language. I got it from my great-great-grandfather, Jim Quatel. That's what I learned from him a lot when I met him. And in that part where I did not really understand the language because of what happened to me. But I was told through their language, they explained to me what it was about and tell the story and how I gathered up to me, it was just a gather for me to be with my people, our family, and I learned a lot. But the part is, I never did get to the part where I spoke our language. I know a little bit, but not very much, because that'll come up later on in this year. Yeah.
Who is in your family?
Pardon?
Who is in your family?
We had 19 of us in the family, boys and girls. So now how we got together with our family and spend time together with my mom and dad and 19 of us, and how he looked after us. My dad provided for us, he worked. Mother did all the cooking and clothes and everything else. This is how I got the connection with my dad more than with Mother. But I used to follow my dad wherever he went. Went to go visit a grandmother and a grandfather. We stayed there and talked, and I listened to him. I sat beside him and to see him tell these stories at my grandmother's house. That's one thing I could not believe. My grandmother never spoke English. She always spoke Kwakwala. I didn't know that until later on as I got older, that my grandmother couldn't understand the original language. She always spoke her language to us, our family, and I never knew what she was saying, but my dad used to tell me about it. So you listen very carefully what Grandma says. So I spent a lot of time going to Granny's and back and forth until I started getting to be a naughty boy. She told me, stay away from your house, because you're a bad boy. so anyway, that was the part where I really enjoyed the family, and I pretty well know them all. Now when you look at it today, there's only 7 left out of 19. So that's how much I really enjoyed my family, brothers and sisters, and now that Mom and Dad have gone home now, and I'm happy to see our family try and get back together and be happy. One family like it used to be. I say that many times to my family when we have a gathering, that we were like this for the longest time, now we're open. Why? Because we don't seem to agree with each other. That's what I say to the last meeting we had with my family. But we've got to get together and start sharing our story and have meals at each different house. Go around the circle. There's only 7 of us. I mean, we've got to do what we have to, ordinary, to move on and live, to be happy. I'm happy as it is, but when you get to see the family, it's all a different story. But I don't hold that until we get together. So when the next meeting is, I don't know. So this is one thing I really enjoyed, to see the family quite often. I told them that my door is open 24/7. You can come down anytime and come have coffee, tea, sandwiches, and never happened yet. But it will change. Hopefully in the new year that our family starts to get back together and be happy and share the part where a lot of things that's happened, that we're going to continue on with this happiness. Enjoy your family. That's what I look at. Okay? Okay.
Where did you grow up and what was it like for you?
Pardon?
Where did you grow up and what was it like for you?
Oh, I grew up here until I was 5 years old, until somebody came to my mom and dad's house, and we didn't know who they were, They came in the van, and there were people there to come to take us away. 5 of us ended up in the van. But Dad could not say a word. Take another one. Well, just a minute. No, take another one. Every time he said a word, he never gave him a chance to say anything. As soon as he said, say something, take another one. It took 5 of us. We went to a residential school, 1952. And didn't release us till 1962. It was rough times, but I mean, I won't go into all these stories, but I share my stories with, I went to counseling and put it all behind me after what happened to me in the residential school. And a lot of people ask me today, even my grandkids, my wife's daughter's kids, they always call me Papa. How come you have no kids? It's because what they did to me in the hospital. They did something that I couldn't have no kids. 2 of us. That's one thing I really hurt at me today. But I don't try and hold on to it. When somebody asks you a question, I said, I'll make it short. This is what happened in the residential school. It was real bad. I don't want to get into it too much because it starts to bring memories back again. So that's just how it all happened to me in there.
What is a good memory you have growing up as a child?
Which one is it?
What is a good memory you have of growing up as a child?
What is a good memory is as a child, there's a lot of stories on that too. How I was when I used to be not a good boy, but a haywire one. I used to always try to get myself into trouble, doing things I shouldn't be doing. And somebody said he got 9 lives. One day after where I lived up here on the 16th there, and I remember the old taxis there, and the big box sitting on the road middle. I got inside it, put it back down. Cab driver came riding by, seen the box lift up. He damn near ready to run that box right off the road. I was in there. And that's how bad I was. Another thing I did was I went into a culvert to try to crawl right through, and I got stuck. She had to phone the firemen. They blew me out with a hose. And I tell you, a lot of things I did wrong, I tell you. But I started to learn after I got to get into mischief with a lot of things. And there's so much I can think of what I used to do when I was young. After I got out of the residential school and everything else, things seemed to calm down and send me to another school. I was treated the same way I was out here to go to a white man's school. Look at these savages coming to our school. Why are you treating us like this? So I only went to grade 5. I got kicked out. After that, I never went back to school because the way I was treated in a non-native school. And I was really happy in them times when we had our own school. Everybody learned, we could have learned our language and everything else in the school we were at, and our own school we had on the reserve here. But it didn't hold up. That's when things started to be torn apart and started taking people away from different reserves. That's the hard part. And some of them were there 2 years, 5 years. I was the only one I can think of was me and my brother, 10 years there. All we seen was work every day. Never had time to go play. Never had time to go anywhere. We had to do our work in the building, wash the floors. But anyway, I kind of enjoyed myself meeting all the younger kids and play with them and try to have a lot of fun and go places, and that's how I felt. Okay?
Do you speak your traditional language, or what languages do you understand?
Oh, be honest with you on that part about our language, the Laichwiltach, the language in the Kwakwala. The thing is that I never had a chance to speak our language because I never got together with, now I know they got classes, I might be intending to speak our language. I know very little about our language, but this thing is, I would have to go back, come here and learn our traditional language to be where I want to be. I'm going to be around for a while yet, so I want to learn more. I know a little bit, but I can't understand it. But what I learned was really good. How to be good with your people and their language, and they speak to you. Somebody comes to them and says, "Yo," what do you say? Yo. That means hi in our language. See? Yeah. So anyway, this is what I have a hard time with our people. I come to the potlatches and I listen to the people talk when I cannot figure out what they're saying, because I got to learn these in a class that's coming. They got a class every year to come to and to learn our language. So that's the part where I want to do in the new year, start off. I should have done that a long time ago. Come to these classes, and that would have been Kwakwala and a lot more than you should, you know. So that's the part there.
What do your cultural traditions mean to you, and how did you learn them?
What the number is that?
7.
Cultural traditions.
The cultural traditions is
This one.
the cultural traditions mean to me is to learn a lot more of our culture by coming to the functions they have in the big house, to learn the language and the dances and get to know the people and this and that. To be where I want to be, it means a lot to me to see me gather up with our people and other people that come to our big house to learn the traditional way of the way we want to be together. And not, this is what the thing I have a hard time with, because of what I went through. But this thing is here at number 7, traditional means to me a lot. To see our people gather together in the big house and singing and dancing and this and that. I'm going to have to start coming to. They have a culture night here. That's where the one thing I want to come to see. I should have been doing that too before, but I guess I'll tend to some of that too in the new year. So that's what I got to say for that one.
Which cultural ceremonies do you find really important?
Number 8.
8. Cultural ceremonies you find really important.
The really cultural part that is important is to come to a big house and have this, watch the ceremonials and the people, and it's pretty well like that. It's hard for me to say something like this. Why hardly ever gather to all these functions like I tell you now. I'm going to start coming back to learn our language, learn the people, talk to the people, and this is one thing I'm really I'm going to be proud to be who I am and what I am for our people and our families. And this is one thing I really want to get together with our families once in a while and start learning the language with them, see if they can speak the same. That's one thing I really want to see happen for the ceremonials come with our families and know our language, know our culture, know our dances and this and that. So we got lots to work on in the new year. So I know it's going to happen. So this is one thing I really enjoy, to see our family. I say that many times, that I like to get together and how happy we were in the years back in the 50s, 60s till now. It's just one of those things that how much I've learned. So by going to different places, Alert Bay, Port Alberni, Quetzino, Port Rupert, all these places I went. And that's what's the trouble I have a hard time with. The reason why I went there was for a lot of issues. And this is what I liked about the ceremonials we come to.
Is there a story you can share with us?
What's that?
A story you want to share with us?
Well, a story I want to share with all you people here, and it's how I grew up with the family. Got to be close to the family much as I can, to be with them. And the thing is that I've known a lot down on our reserve here, how much I can remember way back. And some people look at me and says, gee, he's got a good memory. He knows all about who lived there, who lived here, and how we all worked together and do a lot of things together. And that's one thing I was really happy about, to see the family and friends and relatives that come around. How happy we were to be with all the other people and share our stories. That's one thing I always thought about. I want to come to they call it Ginginanims, who tell their story. And when they grow up and they say, I want to talk to that old man. He knows lots about the reserve. That's one thing I always say to myself. I'd like to talk to people, the little ones, and tell them. And as they grow up and they say, I want to see that old man. He's got lots of stories to tell, which I do have lots of stories to tell about our people, our relatives, our uncles and aunts, you name it. How big we were. We were big one time. Well, we were getting smaller, and the story is that I would like to see, I would have to talk to our family members that are still around and start getting together and talk things over. Because we're going to have a good time. That's why I feel, to see our family the way we are and how we like to meet each other again and be happy. You know, that's all what I always say to myself. I love you all. That's what I say to them. And they say the same thing. But it all turns around. I don't know what happens on the back part. But I still always say to them, I love you all. And I hope you see you guys. And my door's open 24/7. Come have a coffee with me in the red. So anyway, I'd like to say thank you all for listening to me and being here with you people. You learned a little bit, I hope, and if you wanted a little more stories, I'd be glad to talk to you at another time. Thank you. Okay. Hey.
And I did Kwakwala first. Get ale matcha ale kaskanam. Lam le khas ilah. Lam le khas it. Le kha ik supidutsak. Lam hana kwilnatna kas nitla kis a bump. The mas olak al ik nikla a bumpes. Gilt is yes like alaka witna quisesa. Damksit nikla e matcha. Na me matcha lacha thanks Louis kanam. We love tens once alis klit nikla e matcha. Isa lats imasens kaeda. Walats what s. Isa lats imasens kaeda. Damsi kulat shakuit nikla e. Kanam mes matcha. Kalka portal e matcha Louis kanam. Kem ye tsakwidi da damsle once alisi matsa tlois kanam. Mak ida swakjahan nikle matsa. Kisla wel hastikla. Lam pahustoi la aquastali matsa le asusis wakwa. Alach mekin iagida nikle matsa his abampa. Heo khale matsa gagionalas pupokwani is kanam lam it ale kas kanam. Lam lek khas it gyar am leda zalkulit matsala his abampa. Lam gada eksuk bidutsatar kanam lachis abampa. Lamas olik el ik nikle abampes lamas khas itlos alamas kanam qalqa potlak da le la stan khatich anquis we love plant hikigal nikle matsachis kanam och imasmts isaflacha khalabates at least nikle kanames hetli da walat qet وقاس قال هيك قال لم لا وي لا هيك قال لي دا وقاس لا ويس بكيدي متسا وخلاجا ما خيك يا خن كلو ما هذا تقطع نيك متسا لميس نتنا كلام ات وجاك خن قنام نيك الاخيس بامب قاس لاجا ايك قاوي قاس اموس نموخ اما كلو ما اي اخلماس نسكيك قمه لا قص Kajitlach netnalach is otlimatsach waqes es kanam lam it ekas idimatsa le akha iksuk bidutsadak is le ya witnala lam nitlach is abam lam akha iksuk bidutsadak khas kanam olak alan watlak alai kayu me asokste kanam nikler abam pes matsa lam le matsa puskita wila class ham sila nikle matsa hewa khale ya winale kanam mes matsa majos masis lagi los kis nanach mekyahan ipani stri matsa watlachis kanam wila class ha mixilat slawis idi matsa lama khis kanam hiwa khale nanach me ya la am makham di matsachis kanam doidas lams alkumala gailas isakus nanach me gyahan la equally matsachis ayat su tsikila is lek otlast isme es kanam lam ite ha na kwili na kwimatsa khas le nitlachis abamp lam ite khas idi matsa khasans le akha iksuk bidutsadak wigilas nekle matsa khatak bidu wigilas nekle khasan la khaiki nekle datsadak bidu wigidas men la khasat lus nekle matsa nikle det dag bido tel we nog mas nikle det dag bido matsa wigidas men tel kwat nikle matsa lam le yahida anwe is hiltsa ka matsa lam hisamas kis kanam is atlas anwe kanam kluma le yayan astale kanam mes le abamp nikle his abamp is atlas anwe es kanam lam it ekas akhadatlans la netna khasnitla khis abambla me iksuk bidu tsadak la man qwalak khan kanam yu aslak stetlok nikle matsa la qiyades qwalas Waltam Sabak Khedal Qwal Khanahwa. In a story, the word Kwalas means finished. and he married Lizard, and Lizard is called Kwakwala in our language. The moral of the story, how foolish Mink was.